say with you tonight because I'm in between here and there tonight. Uh,
Yeah.
Definitely, we want to give a big thanks to our sponsors, which is urbancountryfilms.com, as well as BU Hosting Films as well. If you're looking to do any Black-owned entertainment for your, such as what we do here, you can also see other shows that these companies do, such as Shelley Speaks. There's a lot of opportunity there if you're looking into it. So definitely contact us. The number and everything is on our page. You'll see all the information there. Also, I want to discuss right quick the book now button, what that means. If ever there's a topic you have seen us discuss and you would like to share your opinion, you can remain anonymous if you would like to. We don't have a problem with that. If you want to book now for the conversation time, that is what it's for. If it's topics we have not discussed and you would like to look into us discussing that, again, same rules apply. Just let us know. Book now. We'll be more than happy to discuss it. Okay. So, with that being said, welcome to
Wow.
Cypher Sunday. Now, I ain't played with y'all this week. I wrote my shit today. I wrote my own. I wrote it before the show started. And see, look how much better it is. It's got that bow. Y'all know, you know what I'm saying? For all y'all who don't know, I'm a certified smoker, baby. I don't smoke no street weed. I smoke mine straight from the dispensaries because I got my card, OGs. You know what I'm saying? I got these things. That's why I just
Okay. So, like, when I was buying street weed, it came with names. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll say something like, Tayal or Karate Chop, some shit like that. When you get it from a distillery, or does it have a name to it? Like beat your back out, some shit like that.
first of all, Bri, I'm so sick of you and your mispronunciation. I'm the one from the hood, and you be killing these goddamn words. The word is dispensary. Dispense it to me from the dispensary. Okay.
Dispensary. Okay. I said distillery, huh? Um, that's wine and liquor. I'm just saying, like, I've never, been in one of those kind of situations where you just go in the store and you tell them what you want. They weigh it, and they like, have a good day. I'm used to being in a situation where, you roll by the corner and you be like, hey, you got that weed? You holding? And he'd be like, yeah, how much you want? Oh, let me get 2 5. Let me get a 10. Let me get a 20. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole totally, but I digress. Let's get on this subject tonight. So, for all of you people that are tuning in, um, what we're talking about is gender identity or sexual identity.
Whoa, whoa,
The
whoa, whoa,
name
whoa,
of
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa, whoa.
topic
Hold on,
is
whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. What you mean? You told me we was doing binary and non-binary, and I looked up all this stuff that I learned when I was in school about binary, and it's talking that's computer stuff. I got my numbers and stuff. I was going to teach you the binary codes and the non-binary. That did you know that the numbers is 0, 9, 10, 11, and 12? Those are binary numbers. What are you talking about?
okay. So we are, what we're going to be talking about is more like, how do you identify yourself? Who you is? Who who is it that makes you you? That's basically what we're talking about. And nowadays in 2020, gender identity and sexual identity is a really hot topic with people, especially people from my generation, because, growing up where I'm from, either you was a girl or you was a boy. or you was a sissy, or you was a bull dagger. You know what I'm saying? So so it's like, you
Tambourine
know,
player.
like, it was only four. And then I go looking this information up because it's an interesting topic. They got like 16 to 20 different types of identities that people want to be addressed as, which to me is interesting as hell.
I'm
You know, it's real interesting because, again, I come from a time where, you know, if you was a girl trying to be a boy, um, you real popular with the boys, but we ain't really fucking with you like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we standing on the sidelines trying to practice our cheers and flips and splits. You know what I'm saying? Everybody tend to have their own place. When I was growing up, I don't remember a whole lot of gay bashing and stuff like that. Um, you know, if you was a girl that liked the girls, we know not to sneak outside and be having no conversation with you, because everybody in the neighborhood gonna label you as a bull dagger. You fucking with them bull daggers. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't want to be labeled like that. Mm-mm. No,
yeah.
no, no.
No, I mean, okay. So, like we've already agreed, you're at least a decade older than me.
Yeah,
And your generation had four, which pretty much boils down to male, female, lesbian, and gay.
right,
So when my generation came along, which is approximately 10 years later, that became um, it became LGBTQ. And what I've
mm,
learned that to me mean is L for lesbian, B for bisexual, lesbian, LB gay, LGBT, LGBT, T transsexual, and Q is I think queer.
right.
Okay. So again, I've also admitted I've been in questionable situations. Okay.
Wow.
So I'm not the one to bash any of it. We're not bashing of it. It's just amazing that when you said binary, the first thing I thought was computer code. And I didn't put the fact that I I knew what tonight's show was about, but I was, you always gotta tell me to stay with you because I don't be with you sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I was not with you on this one. I'm sorry. But getting back to the point, it's just that, it's like a new age of test tube baby.
Mm,
Like instead of creating your child inside, you're almost doing plastic surgery from the womb.
wow.
You start with, like I said, I strongly believe in the hormonal foods that you're feeding yourself while you're pregnant. Then these
Mm,
kids come out confused because they're over hormonalized. Then they're going through these whatever stages in life that we have laws to make us be more sensitive to it, which now to me is over sexual quite a
yeah.
bit. And then it's like, you know, man, it's like, whoa. Again, like we was talking about with Andrew Gullum, it was like, not that it's anything wrong with it, but it's just, where is the world going with now? Another 20 years later, it's what, 16 to 20 different gender types, sexual orientations. Like it's not just like walking in the store, like you said, you ain't never walked in the store to buy no weed. I ain't never walked in the store and said, I want to buy that. I mean, you walk in sex stores and say that's what you want to play with. But you don't just walk into a doctor and be like, well, nowadays you can, it's the normal thing. I want this, I want that ass, I want them cheeks, I want that dingling, I want this coochie. And it's like, well, and another thing I've seen, which would confuse a kid, is how do you see a full bearded man pregnant?
Right.
Because what, they still have their female parts, they're in a relationship, and they've agreed to, and it's almost like the both of you change genders just to still be a male and female couple. I've
Right.
even seen that, and if that is not confusing, I just talk about it.
Okay. So based on the research that I've been doing regarding it, this is so I don't want to say crazy, because the last thing that I want to do is not address people for what they consider themselves. Because everybody needs to be respected. I think
Yes.
every human being needs to be respected and regarded. From my research is that this is based on how people want to be addressed or viewed for who they see themselves as. And that, like, okay, so sex and gender are two different things, but they are similar, right? And sex and gender are both inborn, which means they existed from birth, and they both are fluid, which means it can change over time. That's good. That is like what? That's like a head scratcher.
But it's almost kind of like race and ethnicity. Okay, not to get off subject, but again, it's the same of, that you are considered black if you have even one drop of black blood in your bloodline. So
Right.
you purify it, the more white, you know what I'm saying? You basically strain the black out of your family by, again, producing more of the, what I would call non-binary color
Right.
of a race. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, nobody's judging, but we're just saying, we're just speaking scientific facts that you could do in your kitchen. If you have a full cup of water and you drop one drop of dye in there, the more water you add to that one drop of dye, you're going to dilute it. The water
The
is still
more it
pink.
becomes, right.
It's still going to be pink, but it's still diluted pink water. So it's the same thing with bloodline. And now you're saying that you have the choice or the option to manifest your sexual being.
Right.
That's
Okay, so
wow.
for all of you that are just tuning in, the topic that we're discussing is about gender identity, sexual identity, how you identify yourself as a person. And I want to go on record as saying that however you decide or choose your lifestyle is cool with me. Um, I'm really spiritual, so if I'm not really feeling you, I don't give a damn how you identify yourself. I'm not fucking with you. You know? So,
I will
just keeping it
identify you
real.
as a kiss my ass, bitch.
So if I don't like you, I don't care if you wear a tutu on your fucking neck. Just keeping that in mind for people that are coming in or tuning in tonight. So one thing I want to address is, or some terms that I looked up, and one is gender identity.
Okay.
And they say that gender identity is what you decide you want to be, the
Okay.
clothes you wear, the pronoun that you want to be known as. But sexual orientation is a physical or sexual or emotional attraction to another person. So, and then basically it suggests that there is no gay or straight gene, and whatever you decide that you want to choose is pretty permanent. But like, that's kind of difficult for me to digest. And the reason why I say that is because I was watching, and I think I might be a little bit off topic. Okay, so I was watching this show on HBO, a documentary. I love documentaries. And one of the topics, this particular documentary was about kids that are transsexual, um, or transgender, because there's a difference between transgender and transsexual. So, um, the thing that kind of struck was funny to me is, this little boy, he decided at like age 3 that he didn't want to wear boys' clothes anymore. He wanted to wear dresses, and you know dress up as a girl, colorful and stuff like that. So, they kept saying that, the parents need to be okay with his how he identifies himself. But later on, this particular ran for about maybe 3 years. So later on down the line, the little boy becomes 6, and he no longer wants to wear dresses. He wants to dress as a boy. He wants to play outside. It's like all of those things that the doctors were trying to say about how he sees himself. It kind of don't make sense, but you know, I mean, how do you feel about something like that?
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, I think I know what you're talking about. Because the little boy ended up turning into a girl eventually in his teen years or something like that.
No,
And
this particular um documentary was only for 3 years long. And
oh,
at first, when he was 3, he only wanted to dress up as a girl,
then he changed
and
back to being a boy.
then he changed back to being a boy, which says to me that everything is not as concrete as these doctors and um, medical professionals may, say. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is permanent. And sexuality and sexual orientation is fluid. It could change. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I think that the mother was like, I think she was kind of relieved. She accepted her son to be or dress up as a girl, but I think she became more relieved that he decided to be a boy, you know? But
I,
how do you feel about that?
I'm a mother of a daughter who is a girl. She's very girly.
Yeah.
Let me say that. So I have no direct say. So I'm not, not speaking bad on other people who do blogs like this, but I think that, on certain topics, you really need to understand you have no say. So for one, I am a mother, so I can say something, but no, I'm not a mother of a son. So I say that because um my child is just into her thing. And I appreciate the things that she's into as, in her age, in her lane.
It feels like the doctor made himself God. because to me, um, God makes no mistakes. And I thank God that I didn't have to, I'm not have to be judge and jury like, my child was born with two sexual parts and I had to make the decision which one I would prefer. Oh my God, that wouldn't be a decision that I would want to have to deal with when it comes down to my children.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Making that decision.
Yeah, and I agree. I just, it's definitely to take very delicately and understand how it's
Right.
going. And I shouldn't say that. It can't work in your favor because if your children are born with even a mental defect, like a lot of them are calling, you have other terminology such as gender reassignment, sexual orientation, as you mentioned earlier, gender identity, sexual identity, transgender, transsexual, um, drag queen is even another term that's used in that. Um, uh, it's there's all types of different terminologies, professional ways to say it. And the only reason we kind of address it is because you have to understand we have children that grew up in this society, and we do want our children to be understanding. But at the same time, just like uh, our society altogether is just very over sexualized, whether it is heterosexual, homosexual, what on any side. It's so many other issues that we really do discuss, which if you catch us on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock, we do discuss more intriguing our more intriguing topics. I know I'm blah 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 blah. I'm stuttering a little bit, but we do get into all types of topics, and that's why we encourage you to definitely do the book now button to talk to us about things that you think we should talk about more. But on Sunday nights, we do talk something that's a little bit more adult like, and it was intended to be a little bit more laid back, but again, because it is a society thing that we are hoping to change, that's kind of important to us.
Right.
Now, not to just flip the subject anything. Well, not yeah, I do want to flip the subject a little bit. But did you happen to come across the story I sent you about Lil Boosie that got shot?
I didn't look at it fully. I didn't go that much in depth about Little Boosie, but um expound on it for me.
Okay, me? Okay, yeah. Okay, so what happened with Lil Boosie is there's this other rapper. His name is Mo3, and Mo3 supposedly got killed earlier this year. Now again, we're just coming out of quarantine, as you know. The first thing that happened was the George Floyd situation with the cop killing him. The Breonna
Right,
Taylor situation popped off. And of course, now we're back to the black on black crime popping off. And of course, mainstream media
right,
amongst, again, our children moving forward in society. It's like if you're not fighting a disease off of somebody in your within 6 feet of your vicinity, you got to worry about bang bang gunshot, woom woom. Still, like your life is so in danger. It's so publicized. And I just get so overwhelmed with what can I do to be the change in this world that I want to see, because I can only pray and be hopeful. But if you're only gonna like what you doing?
Yeah. Be the change that you want to see in the world.
Yes. And I think it's so sad that, again, these kids look up to these rappers and you want them, we're at home telling our kids, it's just music. The media is the black leaders, a lot of famous black leaders have said when a lot of this music first came out that it's just music, it's just music, it's just no, that is that the music was very influential, should I
Right.
say, what's the name, like Jesse Jackson. But then you have the rappers themselves. Oh, it's just music. It's just music. You need to teach your kids at home that it's just music. It's just music. It's just music. But then you're keeping up the same foolishness that you're saying is just music, just music, just music.
You know what? To me, when I listen to these interviews with these different rappers and I look at these different videos of, how they live their life, how they go about their day to day, a lot of them have this type of, um, I want to say, like holier than thou type of attitude, like they're above others. And I understand once you get to a certain status in your life, or in your game, the rap game, you may feel like, you know, my shit don't stink, these niggas can't touch me, and I mean, I've never been that type of person. I tend to be very humble and grateful for all of the gifts that God has bestowed upon me and my family. But I guess there might, to me, these types of people get to a certain level in their lives, a level I've never seen before, where they feel like they're untouchable and that they can kind of do or say whatever it is that they want to do, consequences for their actions. Would you say that?
I definitely agree. Throughout this history of change of music, from the age of like even Run DMC and stuff like that. I even remember back in the days when Uncle Al came to.
No, not Uncle Al, girl.
Yes, girl, Uncle Al had came to the itty bitty ass Belglade, and I was about 12 or 13 at the time when he came to our gym. And I'll never forget, I think I had been in college when I heard that he got killed, and then you look at the rapper from what it was, Run DMC, he also got murdered. I forget his name. Um, a lot of these rappers have like just been like slain over the years, and it's like it's big, Biggie Small, Notorious B.I.G., Tupac, all of y'all. And the sad thing is, in so many ways, you want to try to make it seem like they was actually rapping for a change. Okay, it's a funny thing that yes, Tupac's song, what's that? What's that? I see no changes. All I see is racist faces. Wait, I forget the name of that one. But that song has really been getting us through with a lot of the, cops killing and how that again is being publicized. So it's we come out of quarantine and you still making these subliminal messages to our kids. Who when are you going to wake up and see what can you do to kind of change or rearrange? And what, like you said, like what if these kids were actually in these types of neighborhoods?
I mean, like, on a for real note, for real, do you feel like gun violence? I mean, because not
Yeah,
just in the inner cities, is in the rural areas. Do you really feel like there's a change that we can make to stop this? I mean, especially since gun laws are not changing on a national level. They're not willing to do that. It's a lot of money to be made in selling guns and ammunition. It's a lot of money to be made. I mean, I kind of look at it a little bit differently, like a conspiracy theorist. I would say it's a lot of money to be made in death and killing. It's a lot of money to be made. Okay, so we're selling a gun, finna spend some money on that. Selling bullets, some money to be made on that. Insurance, you know, and then let's talk about the funeral home. The funeral homes are in the black. They is paid to take care of your needs. It's a lot of money to be made in death and killing. A lot of people don't want to see the change that you are speaking of. And especially since we have not come up with a solution to the problem. Once we find a solution to the problem of our children getting killed in these streets, it's just going to keep happening because it it's been happening. It's always happened, but maybe not on this grand scale or grand scheme. What is it that we can do to make the change that we want to see?
Well, there is, okay, like I said, I have done time. I'll put it like that. I've done time in the school system. So at one point in my life, I was a part of the change. And it's a good feel. I say that because at the time I didn't take that opportunity as serious as I am now. So in a sense, I kind of regret it. But I will say this: a lot of my Facebook friends, they are my students from those days. And when I say a lot, I say about maybe 15, about 15 of 100 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, if I had about 100 people, 100 kids throughout my 10-year time that just knew Miss Greenland, it's 15 of them that's to this day I can go down my Facebook list and say I know them from when I was teaching. I know them from when I was teaching 10 years ago.
Right.
And it's so funny because to this day it's a set of twins. I used to take care. They used to come stay the night with me and everything like that. Then when I had my daughter, they used to keep my little girl. Then when one of them had a baby, she would keep my little girl, and in turn, like my baby, is a pretty big girl, so she would kind of watch. It was just so cute that all these kids just still linger on. And I'm up in my 40s, and I'm not even related to them.
Right.
So it's not that I haven't been a part of it, but again, brainstorming, blogging, asking the public for help, asking the public for advice, asking and even reading and even applying it. Because all we have right now is social media. A lot of people and then video games ain't even no better than the music because you have a lot of that just as bad.
I mean, like, I don't want deeper.
Yeah.
People to want what they.
We still, I'm fell asleep and all of a sudden some just kind of woke me up out of my sleep and all you hear is, the sound of when them britches too big and you running down the road and you
No,
trying to
that's the
roll them
sound of
up
the
and
boys going together.
yeah, that sound right there. So I looked at I looked out the window and that's what I see coming down the road, in front of the house from
Right.
that same side, but across now. And the next thing you know, a car coming behind, come right down the road behind us.
Wow.
Laid little dude right out in front of me. Late, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, I never forgot about that. And then, you know, that's what got me into a book that I read. It's called The Miseducation of the Negro. And it was so strange that this book was this situation I'm telling you about happened like maybe the 80s, 90s. And then here we is in 2020 after a whole pandemic. Do you feel where I'm going with this? Like this sound like some SpongeBob shit. 100 years later. 150 years later. Like, big, like, and I mean, and it's like when you try to be the change in the world, that's when the devil really push harder on you. And it's like it's like you could put your gun down, but again, I seen another situation where I got a little bit older. You know what I'm saying? Dude had a baby coming and everything. He put the gun down. He went to church. I don't know what his story was, what made him go to church, but all he said was he had a baby coming. So, you know, he had already been shot at. So he felt like giving his life to God.
He wanted to change.
He did. I'm talking next time I seen him, he would walk around in his best dress suit. I'm talking about, I think he might have been at the church. I don't know. But then the next thing I know is I went to, when we came to, you know, just chill on the block, whatever. I'm talking about block flooded with police.
Right.
His sister hollering and screaming. She had to get in my car. She blood everywhere. He still lost his life. I don't think he was in the church but a good month. You know,
I mean, that's not funny, but
it's not. It's like when y'all gonna it is you. So it's you damned if you do, you damned if you. This pandemic situation where like it was a beautiful thing to know that Miami did not have a murder for like 7 weeks, and then it's like here come the media fucking with you niggas again, and y'all gonna fall for the dumb shit, and y'all gonna be right back on the dumb shit. And it's gonna be so sad because you're gonna have parents and family members already having to deal with the pandemic bullshit. Then here you come letting the media, you know, hype you up to do some dumb shit because what? I'm entitled. I don't want to be a hashtag based on, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement and the cops killing me, or I don't want to be some nigga trying to take over my block or don't like what I'm doing over here. But at the same time, I just want, like, bitch, this is not motherfucking Compton. Y'all acting like people can't walk to the corner store. They done changed that shit over there in Compton. They don't do that shit no more.
I don't know about them changing it in Compton because Compton is real rough. I mean, based on the movies and the documentaries I've seen, they have gangs. Although Florida has gangs too, but you know, it's just like you said before. It has to do with money, greed, status. A lot of these guys are trying to be the top in their hood because they idolized somebody that was um, top of the food chain in their neighborhood, driving the best cars, you know, having the best, you know, clothes, shoes, things that they always wanted. That made them feel important. Living in the best house, you know, selling the best dope. It's all about status.
Hey,
And
and let
when
me tell you something. And then the government changed that shit when they came out with shit called medical marijuana. So,
I mean, but
like,
it's still drugs on the street to be bought. Cause not everybody got that card yet. You know what I'm saying? They make it too hard for you to get it. You gotta jump through a hoop to get a medical marijuana card nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Because they wanna try to keep a thumb on you. You know, they only want to give you but so much.
all I'm saying is we down here in Florida, baby. I'm connected. You know what I'm saying? You wanna get your card, book now button, we can discuss it. But
Yes.
that topic particularly, if I'm saying that word right, about getting you a card so you can walk in and get one of these, okay, baby, that's called a consultation. And I charge to talk about that. But everything else, you know what I'm saying? We could definitely discuss it. So again, just to give y'all a quick brief overlook. So tonight we did talk about, all these different topics of binary sexualities. Forgive me, but we got on topic. And we also talked about the violence that has happened to your boy Lil Boosie badass. Poor child, he diabetical. He gotta make sure he be okay. You can't be
Okay.
yeah, I mean, you out here getting shot and you got diabetes and stuff like that. And then you got somebody saying that, oh, he really wasn't shot. That's gonna prove something because see, you got diabetes now. So I know if you got wounded, you can go to the best makeup artist you want to. Again, 2 years later, you better have a scar, nigga.
Wow.
So guys, you do have another comment from Londa D. West. Londa says everything is geared to keep us in mentality. We can't kill you, so let us set you up and kill each other. Set you up to kill each other. And then you have Shelly Fain says we're not violent people by nature. Studies shown there's a direct link between poverty and violence. Building generational wealth would help offset a lot of violence. What do you ladies think about that before you take off?
I definitely concur. Thank you, Londa, for tuning in. I like your I appreciate your point of view. It is a setup. You're right. It is it's like the Willie Lynch letters, if I'm not mistaken. And also another famous quote in the book that I mentioned earlier, The Miseducation of Negroes. And I want you all to think about this one. To teach a man to hate the color of his skin is the worst type of lynching. Okay.
Yeah.
And that just let that digest with you in a minute. Don't let yourself be so quick. I don't care if you're married, single, ugly, black, stank, whatever. If I see you doing something really great and really positive on Facebook, I always give you heart to let you know I love you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I love what you're doing. I appreciate you striving. Somebody close to you don't see you doing it. You need to be told you're great and keep pushing on. I'm gonna make you feel so special. I'm gonna inbox you. And if you come at me like it's anything other than just a congratulations and a pat on the back and a prayer and hope for the best, I promise you I will block you and tell you to kiss mine. But you will learn that I meant everything from the heart, from the comment to the kiss my ass. But you get what you come for in my inbox, okay? Now,